You are listening to the Education Instigator podcast with Danae and Jay. Time to disrupt the status quo and ignite a fire for educational equity.
Guess what, everyone? We're back. I am your favorite educator, I hope. Not Danae, I'm Jay. We are coming we are coming to you with Education Instigators
We
for another
first day
episode.
out. We T
You know
Grizzly.
what I'm saying? Hey, we out here. Summertime is out. We trying to figure out what we got next, what's on the docket. So this episode we want to talk about how do we manage.
We're just talking about work-life balance and what does it look like for teachers to be able to live their own lives outside of their identities as teachers in order to help sustain them in their career as teachers. Because that work-life balance is so important. It's such a hot topic right now with any job. I think millennials kind of started this conversation off. Are you a millennial? Oops.
I am a millennial. As
See.
as are you. I mean, I'm kind of getting tired of you acting like I'm 30 years older than you tonight, and we about a decade apart.
You are a millennial. You're like the oldest of the millennials. Are you sure?
I know I'm a millennial.
When do millennials start?
Whenever I started,
Okay, hold on. It's like every 5. So I think it ended in 96. So 80, 80.
I was born in '81.
So it probably is 80 to like 96.
No,
Okay.
that's fine. Let's do our due diligence while we on here.
I'm just gonna go with that. So us millennials, we kind of started off this whole conversation around
81 and 96.
we were pretty close. All right. So you're technically a Gen X. But
I was gonna say, like you just said, this is definitely a hot topic in our profession. We have people that have burnout so often. Turnover is so high within this career, and it's not because it's a bad career by any means. It's that some people cannot find that happy median of a work-life balance. One thing you have to do is find what's best for you. I will say this: when you are new, you have no clue. That's just honest. You're getting in there trying to figure it out. You're taking work home. You're doing all those extra things. By year 3, 4, I'm gonna be honest. I have not taken anything home in 5 years. I will not if I can't get it done in school. Now, I am also a teacher that will go in on the weekends to grade, but
I was
I
about to
will.
say, you sitting up here talking about some you don't take work home. This man
I
be at
don't.
work all day, every
Hey,
day. It's like
but
it's like 10:30 on a Friday. This man
she
is
making
posted inside the school building.
she making
Sir,
that up. She making
what
that
is
up.
going
But I
on?
will say this: you have to learn to separate the two. The moment you start bringing your work home with you, your home life becomes also your work life, and you don't. And I learned that. I used to have notebooks here, and I'm grading, and I'm trying to talk to my kids, and I just felt like that was unfair. So when I go to my job, I already have in my mind I'm at work. I got to get work done. When I leave there, I'm gone. This is cool. I mean, I see my kids out and about, but I'm not Mr. Stone anymore. I'm just a regular guy. Hey guys, how you doing? Don't talk to me about class right now.
I'm not to the point where I can be like, oh, excuse me, my voice is cracking. I'm not to the point where I can be like, I'm not taking any work home. I think that's not a high school English teacher reality for real, for real. But I definitely have done a better job of using my time wisely at school. So I know in some districts with English teachers, they would have one less prep than everyone else to give them that extra built-in time because what we do can be so long-winded. And we don't have that at my district, and so it really has come down to like me just waking up in the morning and saying this is the plan before I even put my feet on the ground coming out the bed. I'm like, this is the plan, you got to get this done. If you bring anything home, you only have this amount of time to work on it when you're at home, and then if you don't finish it in that time, it's a wrap. And really just setting some really strict guidelines for myself as far as how much I work outside of home, because it is kind of inevitable that I have to. But I would say this year with the teacher of the year responsibilities, it took it up to another level because prior to this, I mean, up until like February, I was working another job, too technically. And so I had to cut out some of those jobs just to make the space for the new responsibilities with this. And it really has come down to like what you said, figuring out what's important to me. Like how much time do I really need to set aside for being with my family? How much time do I really need to set aside for doing something fun, for just having time to do nothing? Um, And yeah, that's interesting. I'm not good at doing nothing. Are you good at doing nothing? I suck at that.
Nah, I probably in this they probably would have diagnosed me with something. I
That's
cannot
what I
sit
think
still.
too. I think that I got over they didn't identify me
Yeah,
because
they didn't find out in our era.
well, I went when I went to therapy, we talked about that feeling that I have where I don't like to do nothing. Um, and it used to be that when I had nothing to do, I was like stressing out and it would be a moment of really high anxiety for me. And now it's to the point where I actually have learned how to enjoy the not doing anything, even though I still don't prefer it. Like one of the things I've learned is everybody has their own peace. And so for me, sometimes my peace is like I want to go to Cedar Point and ride roller coasters, or I want to go outside and like walk in the Cuyahoga National Parks or something like that. So Cuyahoga, however you say it. But yeah, I definitely have had to find that peace. And then I think I've really had to recognize how important friends are. Um, you seem like you've always had friends. I've always had friends, but like
Ones
friends.
we depend on,
Okay, don't ain't gonna have
friends.
a
All right,
soul
nah, just
every
playing.
episode.
Uh,
But like friend time, like you really just like set aside some time to just go kick it with your
yeah.
people. And you need that.
Oh,
Like even and it's crazy because I don't know about you, but how often I go out with my friends and I end up talking about work. Like one of my girls this past weekend was like, I know y'all not sitting over here talking about work. I'm like, girl, you right. But it's still nice to have somebody to vent to that's not associated with your job at all that could just like listen.
man, quit saying vent, man. It ain't all bad, y'all. Look, I'm trying to put
It's
a
not even it's not necessarily that it's
right.
all
Venting is
bad.
venting is a negative connotation. When you be, I just gotta
Okay.
vent. I had a
It's not
terrible
always all bad though. Like that's so I
kids.
will say one of the coolest unexpected things that came from me talking about my job to my friends is my friends recognizing how much I love my job.
Mhm.
And them audibly telling me that like dude Danae, you are amazing, like you the stuff that you say about these kids, the way that you get excited about what you're teaching, like this is mind-blowing. And I will say my friends were kind of the first ones to really really big up me when I was coming out of that moment of burnout. Like I went to a girl night, what's that, charcuterie, we had
Yeah,
like
sure.
a charcuterie night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And we
okay.
were up there kicking it, talking and whatever. And then from that conversation, one of my friends nominated me to be like the Channel 3 teacher spotlight or something like that. So the news just like popped up at my school and I'm just like, whoa, this came from me just what I'm
Yeah.
saying is venting, but not necessarily venting, just like talking
Okay.
about my job, how much it means to me, how excited I am about what I teach. So
Got you.
I be needing those.
Um, she's digressing.
I'm not. We were talking about work-life balance, and I was saying friends are important.
No.
Like,
Friends are essential. I will say
yeah,
that people to be able to talk to are essential. And it's even better when those friends are honest. In this field of work, you have to have those people that's going to talk you off that ledge. Like she just said in that burnout period, if they don't see the passion that she has in what she does, then they're going to be like, "Hey, girl, you can find another job. We hiring right now." Outside of those friends that's like, look, this your pastor's having a rough week, whatever the case may be. So family and friends are extremely pivotal in this whole field of education. And one thing I will say, what I do love about Ohio Teacher of the Year is building a cohort and seeing educators like you that push themselves just like you do, where you're like, I'm not the only one. Now, don't get me wrong, you have those in your building, but it's so spread out. I mean, it's
yeah,
every district within the state of Ohio, and hearing their story and hearing their quote unquote venting and things of that nature let you know I'm not alone, but I'm doing something right. That was one of those good things. So creating a work-life balance for me took me coming out of that rookie stage. We come in as rookies. You want to save every kid. That is just the reality. If you are a good teacher at heart, you want to save everybody. So you busting your butt, doing everything you can, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't sacrifice who you are. Sacrifice your peace for every kid. Some kids you got to learn, like, man, you know what? I'm giving you everything I can right now. I just need some space for myself or some time for myself. Like Danae said, therapy is a great outlet. For some. You said what?
So was in my throat.
Here we go. No, but I mean, you have listen to have longevity in this field. Find whatever you can that's not always education, because we do, no matter where we go, we're going to talk about what happens in our school, what happens in our classroom, what happens with our administration. There's going to be some funny jokes. I mean, we just had a guy pull somebody's pants down. I mean, these you know, when you find these jokes, it's I mean, it's fun. Like,
Listen, just a side note for all you out there listening, you can't tell Jay nothing. Nothing. He think everything a joke. And I thought everything was a joke. This man gonna make a joke about
hey,
anything, anytime. We having a
but you
very
got,
serious meeting and you talking about this man getting different.
hey, listen to this though. If you heard me, Mr. Stone, pants someone, y'all will get a good giggle too. Like, Mr. Stone did what? So in education, these stories that people tell you, man, you got to take it with a grain of salt. This sense of levity is what keeps me going in education. Just being honest, like I have to find those funny moments because it's going. I teach high school. Some of you all may teach elementary, middle school, whatever. So that means I have six. I have six bells, seven total, but I got a plan. So out of six periods, you might have one rough period, but throughout those other ones, you're gonna have something that you can look back like, I can't believe what just happened in that class. And those are those good moments where you're like, whether it could be a great moment where a kid just literally surprised you. Man, Danae turned her work in on time. That is wild. She's never had. Those moments actually help out with this profession too, because you'll see the impact you have on children. Sometimes the impact you have on your coworkers, the adults. And one other thing I love to do in my department, I try to do something outside of school every summer. This is something we kind of started. Like we did Top Golf one year. We had a restaurant called TJ Chumps. This year I want to go play darts with them, just so we can kind of kick back and you can see everyone as a person, as a human. I mean, we all in silos in education. We don't get the time to know, like, yeah, some of you guys are some amazing teachers, but you are also some amazing people. Let
Do we
them
kind
see
of feel
that.
like other teachers that we don't really have a relationship with are like our ops a little bit? Cause like I don't know.
Man,
Like I feel like
I mean,
I feel like
do
just
you
there's
think
like
it's
a
just
secret,
teachers though?
like, huh?
Do you think it's just teachers?
It could be other jobs. I don't know. I've only ever been a teacher for real. Cause I
No,
feel
no,
like
no.
when
I'm
I was a
saying in a building. In a building, we have very, very different jobs going on at the same time. You can have clerical, you can have administrative, you can have
yeah,
teaching, you can have custodial. You know what I'm saying? Do you
I don't
think it's
feel
just
that way. No, I think it's just teachers only because, and this is totally, I'm just
let me
talking,
move
but,
over?
but like, I think a part of
Mm,
why we need so much balance is because we are so siloed in our rooms and we don't
yeah,
see the people we work with as colleagues for real, for real. And if we
correct,
don't see
correct.
them as a human, then really, like, because for me personally, I'm possessive about my babies. Like, these are my babies, and I know that there are other parts of the day where they're with somebody else, and I don't know how they're treating my babies. I don't know if they're doing a good job with them. So I'm like secretly like, I don't know. And then I get to know them, and I'm like, oh, no, you're really cool. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're a real person. Oh wow. And it's so crazy. I mean, like, obviously this kind of stuff has caused wars. This kind of stuff is what legal battles are about, like just us not knowing one another. But that's just like on such a simple scale. We can get to know our colleagues, and that actually makes our work life more enjoyable because we're not secretly thinking or wondering if somebody is doing something we don't agree with, or maybe not liking us, or maybe not treating our kids the way we want them to treat them. Yeah, so that's just, I know we talked before about the cool ways that you build community with your colleagues, but I do really admire that. We had a retirement party a couple weeks ago. Um, and so I just was there maybe a couple of hours hanging out with the people from my job. And it's like, man, I really forget that y'all, it sounds crazy, but I really forget that y'all are like people. And I don't know. It's Are we all
I'm
still like little kids? We're just all looking at teachers like, oh, that's the teacher, and not like, oh, you're just like me, because I'm a teacher too.
yeah, that is a great point. I mean, and that goes to so something I have learned recently. Well, really took to heart recently was in the education field, we have to go beyond just saying we're like family. Like we got to get to that point where we're like, hey, Danae's like my sister, you know. And when you can get to that, that's where we can strengthen not just our rapports, but also with kids. You know, that's going to be another struggle, I think, in our field because you have some people, like you just said, that do look at us like they think they better. You know, have that op mentality where man, she think because she had a good lesson here and there, she just better than me. You know,
Mhm.
I've always tried to literally um do the opposite of what you expect. And what I mean by that is I'm so quick to commend someone or comment positively because you expect so much negativity in our field because that's what you come in on. I'm gonna tell you this: most of you all can probably remember your first few weeks in a job teaching and someone told you something negative. Like literally, I don't care what district, what building, what you were in, someone loves to kind of rain on your parade. No matter how good you feel, man, I had such an amazing lesson. I don't think it's gonna last forever. You know, it's just those small things where you like, golly, you know. And that's what made me be like, you know what? I don't want to start off things negative. You know, I'm gonna tell you later on, but hey, let's find some positives out first. And that also adds to that work life because when you can come into your job with a positive mindset, working is easy. It's
Mhm.
when you come in every day, like, God, I hate this, man. I just read. Look, Danae got it the hardest. I will, all English teachers, when it comes to grading anything, commend you guys. I do CERs, claim evidence reason. I know y'all say CEA, but that's during labs. They'll break that down. So that's about the most reading I do. It's
I'll say
probably a
something
page in a
different.
notebook. Huh?
I said we all say something different. That
Yeah,
joke.
for sure. That's why I said. But when you have to read constantly, this is why I commend you all. Because I get mad when a lab is written bad. And I'm not an English teacher. I'll be like, listen, come on, man. What are y'all doing semicolons here, man? What like I sometimes I'm clueless. So I know the struggle for you all. I'll probably read two sentences like this is a zero. That's me.
But I mean, to your point, one of the most powerful add-ins to my life, and this is obviously to help me with work, but definitely just my life in general, is practicing gratitude. And it was, I want to say 2019, 2020. So right before COVID hit was the year that I tried a week of gratitude where I wouldn't let myself say or even think anything negative. And that was crazy, but it was like a challenge I had made for myself. And I remember as I was like on the Thursday of that week, really getting into it, there was this one student, and mind you, this class, that graduating class, was crazy. Like those kids were wild, right? And so I'm talking like 4 fights a day. We had something called Rachel's Challenge come in for like a auditorium type of whole school meet, and then the kids were like, "Yeah, we're gonna take the challenge, but not to be kind. We're gonna do the opposite." And so it was just like on site every time with these kids. And I remember this one particular girl walked in, and as soon as she walked in, I felt the negative thought coming, and I said, "Nope." And I thought, wow, I'm so grateful that she made it in today, that she is alive, fully breathing. And look at that. She is just able to be so loud because she has the full capacity of her lungs just operating. And I started to laugh out loud in the middle of the hallway, like just for no reason. Everybody was like, what's going on here? But it was like, that's kind of cool that if you really force yourself, you can find any way to be grateful at this girl coming in at 6:40 in the morning, screaming at the top of her lungs. But that week has stayed with me, and like I put myself through these, it's never a week again, but at least 3 days or so where I once again revisit gratitude, or I put that in my journaling to revisit gratitude, because that shift really makes all the difference in how you approach every other part of your life, where you can go into a classroom where the kids are all cutting up, right? And instead of focusing on all the cutting up, you can actually point out, like you said, that one kid that is actually doing something you didn't expect, right? It helps me to remember the funny stories and the funny times that me and my students might have, and just be grateful that I have these opportunities with them. The other day, I randomly was having a moment of gratefulness, gratitude, where I was acting like my students were my son. And, sometimes you go through your kids' baby pictures and you're just like, I was doing that with my students, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm crazy."
A little bit.
But I was like legit booing like all of my babies. But I find these moments where I'm just taking the opportunity to be so grateful. And it's amazing what that does for the balance, because then work doesn't feel like work. It feels like joy. It feels like something I should be grateful for. Um, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not trying to be corny here. Obviously, work still gets very tough, and
For
there are
sure.
some moments it is much easier to be positive than others. Um, for instance, when a paper is due, like a research paper, I tell my kids all the time, I'm the dragon right now, so talk to another teacher and then have them come talk to me. But yeah, I agree with you. Just like that mindset shift. So yeah, I mean, you have lots of moments to be grateful for at work. And I carry those with me. Like, I carry those through the summer. Um, in the summer, I try to still do teacher stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, like, there's this narrative that teachers have the full summer off, and then all the teachers immediately quit back. No, we don't. We're doing summer stuff. That's not true. Like, neither side is true. Neither side of that is
It's
accurate.
a
Like,
choice.
there is a choice. It's
No,
100%.
no, no. I mean, let me tell you why it is. If you're a good teacher, you don't have
Yeah.
something. I'm gonna say that because you are trying to better yourself for the upcoming year.
Right.
Usually. If I if I was to tell you, so we've given you some great nuggets, I believe, like self-care is definitely important to do. Manage your approach. Understand you're not going to get it right the first time, the second time, the third time. You're going to always be adjusting how you approach this self-care, this
Oh yeah,
work-life
for sure.
balance, all of this. Because every year is going to be different. You're going to have a different group of kids. Sometimes you're going to do more because of the kids. Like, man, I love this group of kids. I want to do this and I want to do that. I think one thing you have to learn, though, it's a major word, learn to prioritize. Like, what is more important? And like Danae said earlier, if you wake up in the morning and say, okay, these are the things, I'm sorry, that I want to make sure I hit on, period. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. That makes it so much easier. And if you stick to that, I'm not the most organized person. I mean, I use my calendar, but Danae might have a whole planner, not me. You got a planner, Danae? You seem like you do.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of.
All
Yeah.
right. I
I'm
put
like,
stuff in my calendar and be like, oh man, I forgot to put that in there.
so I put stuff in my calendar. Does that count?
Yeah, I mean, but do you have the handwritten
Like the
plan?
handwritten one? No, no. I had one of those big calendars that you put on your desk, but only for this year because this year got so crazy. Normally, I put it in my phone. That counts as planning though.
Got you, got you. Well, that's how I do it. But that's how I prioritize. Like if it's not in there, it's not meant for me to do. Um, but I'm gonna tell you one thing to do if you can. Join a group. I don't care what group it is. This is
Yeah.
the whole thing we're talking about. When I talked about this cohort, I didn't go into. You can do. I'm science, so NSTA, which is National Science Teacher Association. Find groups that you are interested in. This helps kind of keep putting fuel in your tank.
Mhm.
Um, this Teacher of the Year, I am so ecstatic to be a part of it. I'm so glad that I was selected because I would not have met the 10 other dedicated educators that are in my cohort that I really have gained something from throughout this. I mean, honestly, our time is kind of almost out. We're about to do our anniversary. I'm gonna wear my shirt again for that anniversary day. How about that?
You have to tell this story because you did.
Um,
Friends. Speaking of friends, so Jay
yeah,
just
sure.
told me, and I don't remember saying this, but it sounds like me, that the first it I believe it.
Let me find that picture, man. All right,
No,
go
I
on.
know, I know. Okay,
Tell
so
the
the first
story.
time we all met, I think we had told you all about the finalists for Teacher of the Year 2025, we met together and went and did dinner. And Jay said that the first thing I said to him was, wait, what did I say, Jay?
I won't say it was the first,
Okay, I at least say hi
but
first, right?
but it was definitely up there. Top 5 things she said outside of how you doing. It was I see you got your baby shower shirt on. I'm looking for this picture.
Y'all know what shirt Jay was wearing. Why he wear why
I
he wear
mean,
that shirt? Why can't
some
we
know,
share
some don't. Some
my
know. Why can't I find this? Who was all in the
Don't you worry, I will find it and I will show the people exactly how you was dressed for the meatballs and the pasta salad.
we didn't hey, look, I just, it was a nice button-up shirt, nothing spectacular. It was a hot day, it was in July. Was it July or August?
Jul I don't Julagus, I'm not sure. It wasn't
Uh,
it wasn't a Burberry shirt requirement.
I mean, it was a day I felt
That's Jay with the braids and the Burberry shirt.
I mean,
Okay. But while you look for the picture, I think
look,
you are spot on. One of the fun things about seeking out my own professional development is I think when people think about what's fun to them, we forget that a lot of us that are teachers at some point really loved what we teach. And so the most fun that I have every summer is when I get together with other teacher nerds. And like my favorite PD ever was at the New York Public Library Center for Educators. They had us going into the library archives. We were going to the museums. We had special guest speakers from all over who came in and talked to us just about history and primary sources and documents. And I wish that I could bottle up that feeling that we had because we were sitting around each other like giddy little children, just like, oh my God, don't we get to touch this? When I went to Africa on another professional development opportunity, I was able to, like, touch a first edition Souls of Black Folks. I'm telling you, like, signed by the boys to his wife. Like, it was crazy.
okay, cool. That's what's up.
So, but this is, to me, a teacher doing work in the summertime that also fills my bucket. That's my kindergarten. I went to kindergarten twice because of COVID, so I got to do it online with Dezmond. But it fills my bucket to be able to be in spaces where I'm learning, where I'm being curious, where I'm answering questions and solving problems with other nerdy teachers like me. And that is fun. Like, that is my idea of fun. And like we said before, God forbid you put a glass of wine in front of us, then it's just like a super nerdy good time. And
Yeah,
that to me is
you're fine.
everything. It's everything. You come back to school with all these great plans. You have good feelings about the plans that you're going to do. You're excited about what you can teach the kids now that you've learned this. Um, I mean, yeah, there's something
Pretty fun.
special about getting into teacher community, getting around people who feel like you do, who love what you do, who appreciate the art that you are in. You still looking for that picture? Sir, I will find the
Mhm.
picture and I will pull it up. You let that go.
I needed to find it because it was a
Can y'all tell we are in summertime mode? We've been working though.
another thing. If you don't have them, invest in hobbies. I feel like
And hobbies.
fi- find something for you to do outside of education because we've talked a lot about just building colleagues. How'd you find it before me? That was it. That was it. How'd you find it? Yeah, that was
Because
us.
I understand technology.
Oh God.
All I
Well,
typed in my phone was baby shower shirt and it popped up.
you got that iPhone 11, man. Come on, man.
Oh,
Don't
I
do me.
don't. This is a
Uh,
this the new boy.
you don't even know, Miss I understand technology. But find a hobby, and it doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Just I can tell you my hobby is laughing. Like I would if you call me about anything comedy, I'm there. Um, but now reality, like I'll read something. Uh, take a class. Sometimes it's cool to just be like, you know what, I'm into this. I really think if we do better with work life in this career, turnover won't get as high. What do you think then? I don't know. I mean, I really feel like we pour our all into what we do, and sometimes we don't have enough to give back to anyone else. Like whether it's family, friends, kids, whatever. Sometimes we're so wore out just from a day at work because we have not balanced things properly that we're no good when we get home. Like,
No,
look,
I 100% agree, and that's a big part of what I talk about a lot about why it's so important to find your own professional development because you are dedicating so much of your time to your career. You might as well dedicate some of that time to loving your career. And enough of us don't put an emphasis on that, and it's important. I came across a quote from somebody, and it had something to do with what would you do for free? And it was like, if you were working in heaven, what would you do? Would you actually do what you're enjoying now?
mhm,
And so it really made me sit back and think, like, Danae, if you, not if, when I get to heaven, um, what am I going to find joy in? Like, I do genuinely feel like the highlight of my time is learning and spending time learning and sharing what I've learned with others. And I mean, yeah, we call that teaching, but I see the reciprocity in that. Like there's so much to learn as you are
mhm.
teaching and vice
Yeah.
versa. And I genuinely love those spaces. Like I love being able to watch a TV show and then call up a few friends and go into deep dialogue about the symbolism that we saw, the metaphors, the usage of lighting, and how does that contribute to what you saw. Like I am legit a nerd, and this
She
is
is a nerd.
yeah. I mean, like I went to a Joe and Tamia concert, and I'm sitting up here breaking down the lyrics to one of Joe's songs. I'm like, do you understand the depth of love that we're talking about here in this good old 90s, early 2000s R&B? Like, I can sit up all day and just talk
Hold
about
on.
this nerdy
Hold on.
English stuff.
Did
What?
you break down that Carter 6 yet?
No. Do we need to have a separate session about that? What did you think? Please tell me. Side note. It's good. I heard it
Oh,
was bad.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm a Lil Wayne fan
I'm a huge
since
Lil Wayne fan. What's your favorite
on the
Lil
record.
Wayne? Let's go CD, mixtape.
I'm gonna tell you best. Come on, hold on. Let me tell you about the Carter
Okay,
6
okay, I'm
before
sorry.
we get into Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say this respectfully. Hang it up,
Hang
man.
it up, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Hang it up. It's terrible. I mean, and I was trying to like it, I'm like, you know how you trying to nod your head like this a banger. My kids looking at me like, Dad, just let it go.
Aw.
Pizza production is terrible.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they said he did it with Tory Lanez.
What?
That's how
He did it from jail?
that's
Where's Tory Lanez out? I don't even know.
and now he's still in jail. That's what made it funny. Like when you read the comments, people are saying, um,
Oh, that's
this
terrible.
one is the worst he's ever done. And I didn't like what's the one? I'm not an alien. What was it called? It's
It was something like that, yeah.
yeah. This one is worse than that one. I'm gonna just
Well,
hey.
this is what teachers do in their summer. We listen to albums and we decide if our old heroes are going to reclaim their thrones. And sometimes it doesn't
Hey,
happen. But there's always Beyonce.
hey, but think about this, y'all. As we spoke about Lil Wayne, let's tie this in. That's metaphor. This is an example of burnout. It's time. Like when I get in the
When
class,
it's your time, when you can't
hey,
work life balance no more, when the
hey,
dreads, the locks is hanging.
come on, come on. Hey, look, you see how I can bring that in? Look, y'all, hey, I can do the same thing too. I'm
Uh,
like, listen,
and
when I listened to that album, I said, yo, it's time to let it go. Like when I get in my
when I start
classroom.
teaching like this,
Hey, students, and if my students watching this, if I'm in classroom and I'm sounding like, yo, Mr. Stone, what the are you talking about? Just let me know. It's time to hang it up. All you gotta do to tell me this, Carter 6. If y'all say Carter 6 in class, I know what y'all saying. This is for years down the road, though. Years
that's
down
so
the road.
that's another reason why it's so good to have good friends in your building who like he said will be honest with you, because that is something that I've talked about with my colleagues. When you see me getting to the point where I have more complaints than joy and I can't be satisfied and I'm starting to be just not a nice person to work with, not a nice teacher, let me know so I can go because it's time. I don't want to do that to anybody.
It's a no for me, dog. I mean, I really was gonna I'm gonna tell you how bad it is though, today. I was going to write a review using all of his
All his
song.
old lyrics, you're gonna
I
do
was
it.
doing all his song titles in the review, man. Like it was that bad. Like I'm literally like, man, I gotta let my man know.
You
This ain't
actually could just throw that in Chat GPT.
son. Hey, you know I don't use that too often. I try to learn what I can.
Jay doesn't have to use Chat GPT because he
Oh, here
automatically
she
sounds
goes. Yeah,
like a
she calls
robot.
me a robot.
So
Has called me a robot before. Chat GTP.
before
Not big. But now that was a good point because I mean, listening to the album kind of ruined my work-life balance. Just telling you that now. I wish I didn't. That's probably a little over an hour I can't get back.
Are you officially done with work?
I am officially done. I actually interviewed some incoming science teacher. Hopefully, this was one of the interviews. We got more to come, but this is one of our potentials.
Oh, so
So
you're in and out still kind of for that.
yeah, if I get called, I definitely will go in. I'm actually about to get my whole room together. It's gotten so crazy in my room, so I'm probably gonna take a week or so to get that together. But yeah, I'm off for the summer. But I am like Danae said, I'm one of those people that I choose to go back because I just like I need that. Like work is my peace.
Mm,
Sometimes like I
yeah.
know in my school, I know my room can be the make or break for some of my kids. So I
Mm.
know when they walk in, if this room seems very safe, seems like, man, this dude cares. Like I mean, we don't understand that everybody in a building, well, let me not say we, I'm sorry, but many people don't understand how small things can affect kids. Like a dirty room can ruin a kid's mental, you know. So yeah, I gotta get it together. I've been piling on stuff. I'm a pack rat. Like it's like a mini hoarders in my room. So yeah, I'm working on that.
Well, my room is packed up, so I got this big back TV that's been in my room since I started. I've been asking them to take it out, so I'm hoping that they take that out so I can have a little bit more space to put all of my awards.
Doing it big. I got
There.
a few. I'm gonna hang up my pictures and stuff with me and the old governor.
Oh, okay.
Um, I'm gonna do what I can.
That's nice. That's nice.
So when's your last day? You done too, Danae?
I'm done. I finished the Friday before last.
How many F's did you have? Now let me stop.
Actually, it's crazy because I only had one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're a good teacher? I wonder, or does it mean I'm a bad
You
teacher?
know what? Okay, so this is a whole nother conversation that we'll have to save for later. But
Mm.
I did have to get out of that mentality that if students were doing well in my class, I was being too easy, as opposed to saying, no, it's because you're doing a good job. So that's a
Oh, that's a good topic.
conversation for another time. Yeah.
I don't believe her.
Uh yeah. I'm not easy. Listen, one of those evaluations said they like my class because I treat it like it's an AP class. And I said, baby, you ain't
But no, let me say this, and I'm
no
not gonna
AP
say
class.
you. I mean, you make a great point. Let me say this. I don't think all kids should fail. I think if kids are coming to class, giving full effort, trying, that kid should never fail. I do believe that. I mean, I feel like we. I don't look at. I tell my kids, grades are a construct. That is literally something we've done. I look at the knowledge. Like I can tell you, I have a kid that literally or I've had kids throughout my year of education that possibly couldn't read well, couldn't write well, but can regurgitate anything and can break down stuff. Like Will can do a lab. And I'm like, you know what? This kid is definitely on par.
No, I think because school is forced on students, I think it shouldn't be easy to fail, if that makes sense. Um,
Nah, but what about the kids that don't try though?
so
What do
that's
you
what I'm saying. Like, I think you have to not try. I feel like students that are trying, even if I can't say they're trying their best, but students that are trying, they're showing up, they're turning in the work, even if they're giving me something, I don't feel like that student should fail. Does that make sense? I don't
it
feel like they
depends.
should. I don't think it's a D minus probably, but like I don't think that that student should fail. I
I
think you
guess
have
I
to.
mean
I
I
think
hear
you
you
have to
on that.
work to fail
I
because
got
like
you.
you didn't ask to be here, so like you're
But
really
it's
just
like, but the thing is when kids have nothing else, And if we go back to why education was even started, it was to prepare them for outside.
Right.
So if you and I use outside as just
No, I get you.
you know what I mean. But if you don't learn to put an effort somewhere, when
Yeah.
you learn,
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like to put in no effort is you trying to fail. Like I feel like you have to in my opinion, you have to put in effort to get an F.
what if
Like
they got perfect attendance and do nothing? What you think?
I've never I can't say that I've ever seen that.
Well, let me not say perfect. What if they got good attendance and don't do much?
I do have some students that have good attendance and might still fail, and it's still because you sit in that class and you do nothing. Like
Okay.
you legit, like you
I
know,
know
you
some
have that
people
kid
like
you can go up to and be like, "Hey, so let's do this," and you're like typing it for them, and then somehow they still turn in something blank. It's like,
yeah,
no, I don't want any of that.
yeah, like come on, bro. Like God, please. I did more work than you on your
Yeah, I'm
side.
like, I wrote it. Like, what happened to what I did?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go.
Education Instigators out. What you, a Boy Scout? Look.
That it was a fool. I'm working on my Cowboy Carter. Wait, because my fingers don't do the thing.
No, you irk me. Why you can't do that?
Because Beyonce does it without holding her two fingers here. She just can you put these two fingers in like this? Like I also can't do a 3 like this. Yeah, I can't do that. That's another funny thing. My kids make fun of me. No, I can do it. I can do it.
Can you
See
do
this
this?
finger? Yeah, I can do that. And I can do like this.
Do that? Like, can you move it like that? Why we childish? All right.
It's just the bending part. I don't know why. Like
you got arthritis?
maybe.